Hello and welcome back to the Novice Lumberjack, where I got a new toy. This is an Echo 6700, so it's one of the early ones. Which means really the only difference, as far as I know, the intake setup is a little bit different between this and the 670 and 680. And I believe this one is going to have a dual port side fed cylinder, and the 670 680 both. I know the 680 for sure has a quad. It's still side fed at the bottom, and it's one big single bottom port transfer, or two big single bottom transfers that feed into quad uppers. And then it should have a dual ring. The 680 had a single ring. Other than that, I don't think there's any difference. But this one has no compression. Now, I've looked down through the spark plug hole, and I can't... I didn't need to take those off, really, did I? I can't see an obvious reason. It doesn't look like the piston is scored much at all. Or the cylinder, I should say. The piston might be scored like crazy, but I'm not seeing any aluminum transfer on the cylinder. But it's got no compression, and I can't tell any further than that. So we gotta get in there, take it apart. So this will be the first time I'm seeing the exhaust side. And again, the piston looks great, but I see right there, right off the bat, I see what's going on. Wow. It looks like the ring landing is completely broken off. There's definitely some damage going on here. Let's take this cylinder off real quick so we can have a better look. But this might be a really great thing. Might just need a new piston, and that's it. There we go. Oh. Oh, saved them all. All right, the cylinder. Where's my flashlight? Cylinder looks fine. That's good news right there. Cylinder looks totally fine. You'll want to see the exhaust side. Let's do this. Nothing going on there. Nothing crazy at all. Doesn't appear to be... And there's some gouges. Ah! And I don't, from the looks of that piston, it's not aluminum transfer. It's gouges. Shit. Well, maybe we can do something with it, but that's not for this video. Let's see here. Now, this being an Echo, I bet you that wrist pin is like semi-press fit. Oh, that piston's rocking back and forth. Let's go ahead and take this off too. Oh, I got it. All right, so let's look at the damage. The needle bearing here is effed. We can only hope that none of the needles are down there in the bottom end. But yeah, this needle bearing is totally effed. And by effed, I mean fucked. Let's see. I laughed a little too hard at that one, didn't I? Bottom end looks fine. I don't think there's anything going on the bottom end. Rotates over really nice and smooth. That's tight. This is a fairly low hour saw, it seems to be. But look at this, yeah. Who knows what happened at 10,000 RPMs going on in there. But look, so you can see on this side, it's all pretty fine. That right there, that right there in the middle, I'm calling that your landing. Right? That may not be the right word for it. But over here on this side, it's completely gone. It busted it out. It's not there. So we got a snag there somewhere. Maybe that pin, that ring pin, like, I don't know, came loose, got down in there. Or maybe it's all 100% the wrist pin bearing. But it looks like the only thing this thing's going to need is a new piston if I can get the gouges out of this thing. It may not even be that gouged, you know. At first I didn't notice it at all. Clean that up really well. Surprisingly enough, it's more on the intake side. That's odd. Why would it be on the intake side? Times like this, times like these, I go like this right here. I mean, you can feel some stuff in there, but it ain't bad, not at all. Could I throw it back together with the new piston in there and get some use out of it? Absolutely. Will I do that? I don't know. I don't know. I might just price them out. See if, hey, maybe one of you guys have a good cylinder and piston setup that you would pass along for cheap. Oh, maybe you would. But mystery solved. Something happened and there was some carnage with the piston, and it even broke a chunk out right there. Broke that chunk right out. Some carnage happened with the piston and the wrist pin bearing. So we've got to figure out where we're going to go from here. I've never ran one of these guys, so I am a little bit excited about it. I know that they're not the best performers. A lot of people out there say that they have tons of torque. I mean, I don't know. I've never ran one, so I can't honestly say that. What I think they have is they run at low RPMs. And since they run at low RPMs, typically whenever a saw runs at low RPMs, what it has is a very broad power curve. And that broad power curve is often mistakenly thought of as torque, because it's steady from 6,000 RPMs to 10,000 RPMs. It's rock steady. It's got making its power there. So whenever you're in a situation where you dog in a little too hard, right, it's very easy to back off and catch it before it stalls, because you've got a broad power band. You know, it's not peaky. Broad power band does not automatically mean that you have torque. It just means you're slow and you have a broad power band. That's really it. And so a lot of people are like, oh, it's got torque for days. Yeah, torque for days. Does it have torque for days, or does it just produce its power at a slow chugging rate that makes you feel like, yeah, this thing will do it? I think it's option B. But that doesn't mean I'm not excited about it. A lot of people also talk about it like it's too big and heavy. And while, yeah, I guess it probably is slightly heavier than you would want it to be for 67 cc's, but it doesn't feel any different to me than like a 272 XP or a 266 SE or Johnson Red 670. Spec-wise, it's got the same bore and stroke as the 670 Johnson Red, the 266, 268, 268 XP, 266 XP. They're all the same thing, you know, basically. So bore and stroke, it's got a 34 millimeter stroke and it has a 50 millimeter bore. And so you can utilize a Johnson Red 670 piston in it, you know, and maybe it'll be worth doing that for me. I'll look into it a little bit further and stuff. I'll probably ask Joe, Dino Joe. I know that he has played with a lot of these, and there's articles on the OPE forum that I have read about Joe doing this, and let me see, and it seems to be the way to go to build it would probably be to use a 50 millimeter Husqvarna 266, 268 Jonsered 670 piston. All right, so I have one right here. We're going to take the 670 and 680 had a domed piston. This one does not have a dome at all. There is no dome there at all. Let's just see how these measure up. Well, would you look at that? Significantly taller crown on the 268 piston, and it's got a shorter skirt as well, so might be able to just install this thing. And this one's a pop-up. I don't know how well you can see that. That's a highway piston. That might be the way to go. It also has what it looks like it's got a lot more flow than the Echo piston would have. I don't know. Is it really? Really? I don't know that it does. That might be the way to go. Echoes like to run a huge squish, and then so the only thing I would have to do in installing this piston, I might be able to just put it together with the, how much of a difference is that? Let's measure it out real quick. There's calipers. $0.94 of an inch is the difference. So that's a lot. They're not going to be running that much of a squish. But to put this piston in there and then just cut the squish band might be the way to go. It really might. Anyways, if you guys have any thoughts on this, please tell me. I've never built one of these things before, and I have a pop-up 268 50 millimeter piston that should go right in. Yes, sir. Slides right in place. That might be the way to go. Just cut the squish. Not have to do any base work on this at all. And like I said, I know I can get away with it. I can run this cylinder. I know I can. Just not 100% sure I should. The saw was given to me by Jeffrey Pack. I went and visited him yesterday, and my goodness, that man's got a lot of saws. Cool guy, cool place, lives over in Alabama, and it was a nice, fun little visit for me. I want to measure that squish right quick. Let's see if I have a wrist pin bearing that'll fit this. Nope. Nope. There we go. Nope. I really like keeping all the wrist pins and bearings just for this type of stuff right here that I'm doing. Because I'm wanting to measure that. Nope. Wanting to measure the squish right quick. Well, it doesn't appear as though I have one, so we're going to have to put off measuring the squish until later. So yeah, if you've got suggestions on what I should do with this Echo 6700, please give them to me. I would like to know, because I'm uncertain what I should do, what I'm going to do. But I do have already, this is listed as a 268 piston, even though that's not a 268 piston. It'll work, but a 268 piston does not have the windows. Whatever. Anyways, yeah, let me know. I'm not sure what to do. And this has been a long video. Congratulations for hanging in there till the end.